That reading that we started with this evening from the book of Genesis brings back some memories in my life. Because every time I hear that reading, I think of when our children were growing up in a house that we lived in Stoneham, Mass. And on the first floor, we had a living room, a kitchen, and all those gathering rooms. And upstairs were the bedrooms. And the kids would be upstairs in the bedrooms. And if I was home alone, all of a sudden you'd hear a big thump on the floor, or yelling and jumping. And I'd yell out, "Hey, what's going on up there?" And the answer always came back, "Nothing." The answer came back, "It was Kevin." And then the answer would come back, "No, it was Kelly." No one would take the blame. So that reminds me of this reading. No one really wanted to take the blame for what was going on here. When God created Adam and Eve, we know the word Adam means humankind in Hebrew. And we know the word Eve means the mother of all the living in Hebrew. When God created Adam and Eve, they were to be an image of Him and to live their lives out, glorifying God. But then sin came in, and things changed in their lives, and in our lives, and in all the lives to come. But what God's intention was to have all of us to be an image of Himself and to live out our lives of that image. When we came to the gospel reading today, we've heard that, hundreds of times probably. But today, this week when I was reading it, there were three things that jumped out at me that I really didn't notice before. And I'd just like to share some of those too. Maybe you've noticed them too. The first line says, the angel Gabriel was sent from God. It doesn't say God sent the angel. It says he came from God. He was sent. He was with God. He was there present to God. And he left God all excited, it sounds like to me. Because look at what happens down here. When the angel Gabriel comes to Mary, he says to her, "Hail, full of grace." And if you look at it in the reading, there's a big exclamation point. Hail, full of grace. We're finally to this point. It's finally going to happen. But I'm here from God to say to you that you are full of grace, and the Lord has invited you to be the mother of the Son of God. And all of that came because Mary was conceived without sin. It says here also in the gospel reading that Mary says, "Well, how's this going to happen? I have no relations with man. This cannot happen." But the angel says to her, "Oh, the Spirit of the Lord will come upon you, and you will conceive and bear a son." This is the first time that we hear of, and probably the only time we'll ever hear of, a conception of a child in the Spirit. Because the Spirit of God came upon Mary, and then she was going to give birth to Jesus, the Son of God. And so many wonderful and powerful things have been happening throughout her life. And if you look back at, and if you've read some things about Mary, that she was just an everyday person, just like us, going about her life, being faithful to God, and looking for God present in her life and what the Lord had to do for her in her life. A little later on in the gospel, we hear this. Mary says, "Behold, I am the handmaid of the Lord." So I went and did a little research on that. And I looked into Luke's writings. And Luke's writing was in Greek. And he used the word doule, D-O-U-L-E, to fulfill that line. But if you translate that word in Greek, it means slave. Mary says, I am the slave of the Lord. I'm not just a servant. I'm not just someone who comes to do a job, but I am someone who comes to give himself completely to do whatever the Lord wants me to do. I am the slave of the Lord, and be it done unto me according to your word. And what I've been thinking is that if only I could do the same thing. If only I could come to that point where I could turn myself over completely to the Lord with the confidence that Mary had, to know that all will be well if only I follow the Lord's message in my life. And I pray the same for you, that as we gather together as family, the Lord touches our hearts, fills us with the Spirit, and we are created anew to do God's will and to be His slaves. Thanks for sharing the gospel with me today.